On this episode of Audiobook Club, we skip gaily through Enid Blyton's Enchanted Wood on our way to the magic Faraway tree.
Do you see that thick, dark wood over there, backing onto the lane at the bottom of our garden? Yes, said Rick. It seems quite ordinary to me, except that the leaves of the trees seem a darker green than usual. Well, listen, Rick. That's the Enchanted Wood, said Beth. Rick's eyes opened wide. He stared at the wood. You're making fun of me, he said at last. No, we're not, said Franny. We mean what we say. Its name is the Enchanted Wood, and it is enchanted. And oh, Rick, in the middle of it is the most wonderful tree in the world. What sort of tree? Asked Rick, feeling quite excited. It's a really enormous tree, said Joe. Its top goes right up to the clouds. And oh, Rick, at the top of it is always some strange land. You can go there by climbing up the top branch of the Faraway tree. You go up a little ladder through a hole in the big cloud that lies at the top of the tree. And there you are, in some strange land. I don't think I believe you, said Rick. You're making it all up.
Hello and welcome to Audiobook Club, the podcast about audiobooks that thinks that letting children roam around a so-called enchanted wood in the dead of night is not really in line with modern parenting values. Nevertheless, it's a tale of three friends and their journey to a large tree which, once chopped down and pulped, produces enthralling books. And then we turn away to audiobooks we're interested in. So this week, dear listener, we are doing the Magic Faraway Tree, where you can discover the beloved series that inspired the family film, which is kind of out now in all good cinemas and some bad ones as well.
I think we missed it, Steve, to be honest.
What, the film?
Yeah, I think
it's out in March.
Has it been and gone?
Yeah, it was conceived when we thought you were going to be on your honeymoon, and Bobbie and I were going to do this. Say hello to Bobbie, by the way. Hi, Bobbie.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, I was going to say it was time to meet our three friends. I was doing a big setup.
Yeah, no, I know what you were doing.
That goes in the bin.
So, in the bin with that. So what happened was, while you were away on... Since we last did this, you've got married, I've cheated death, and we seem to have grown a third appendage, which I'm quite happy about all of those things, really.
Yeah. I didn't have that down as a third appendage in my script, to be fair.
I thought Bobbie and I would be able to do the Magic Faraway Tree while you're away as a bit of a filler while you're on your honeymoon. And frankly, without you, mate, the whole thing fell apart.
Well, I think there's still a chance of it falling apart with me here. In fact, more of a chance, I suspect. Shall I just set the thing up? Shall I just set us up and then we'll
before you do that? Yeah. Can I quickly just play you the clip that refers to the parenting issue that you just mentioned? So in this first chapter of Magic Faraway Tree, 3 of the 4 children come back from the woods at nighttime, just in time for dinner. And they've left one of the kids behind. And I think the attitudes have changed. I think helicopter parenting has come in since this kind of thing.
I do wish Joe was with us, said Rick as they all went home. Do you think Aunt Polly will be worried about him? Well, we'll have to tell Mother the truth, said Franny. She is sure to ask where he is. Mother did ask, of course. And the girls told her what happened. Well, I find this all very difficult to believe, said Mother, astonished. I think Joe is just spending the night with Moonface for a treat. I'll trust Moonface to take care of him tonight. But he must come back tomorrow.
Wow. Oh, that's not very 2026, is it, really?
No, I think if that happened in this age, there would be those walking lines of policemen with rakes. I think you'd get one of those. I think it would be an Amber Alert.
That's it. Time to bring those back. If you hadn't guessed, we are doing the Magic Faraway tree. Enid Blyton is the author, of course, narrated by Kate Winslet. It came out about 13 years ago now, so sort of 5th of December 2013. It's only 3 hours and 46 minutes long, so a quick read. Hodder Children's Books is the publisher, and to review it this week, because I was obviously away, I haven't read the book here, so I'm just kind of an interloper. I'll just set the structure. We'll try and set the structure. That went out the window at the top of the podcast, to be honest. But Matt, you're here as ever. Bobbie, thank you so much for joining us. Bobbie Pryor.
I'm not sure what I've locked myself in for, to be honest. You said, pop on, let's talk about that tree book that you were talking about. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for being a guest. I can allay some of your fears that you were talking about, your parenting fears, but you are right. Written in different times, definitely different times. So
I've been looking forward to getting stuck into this with you, Bobbie, because you know how most weeks you've listened to some of our back catalogue. Steve turns up and I make sure I read the books twice if I have time.
Yeah.
And, sometimes Steve has read it. Sometimes he hasn't. Actually, the show goes better when he hasn't read it, because I have to explain it more clearly, and for a man who hasn't read the book. In this case, and part of the reason I've invited you along with the thought of replacing Steve is, Steve, not only has Bobbie read the book, she's watched a documentary about Enid Blyton and has opinions on the tumultuous life of the authoress herself.
Oh, shame.
She's not only read the book, she's done further research.
Is this the point where I put my flat cap on and start whistling as I walk out of the room and say, well, that wraps it up for me, folks?
No whistling, we're on a podcast.
It's really important to point out is I read the books when I was very much younger than I am now. And I haven't yet seen the film because I'm too scared that it's not going to be as it is in my imagination, although I've heard great things. So I've listened to the audiobook and big sigh of relief, because generally it's pretty good.
No.
It's pretty magic. That's what you want to know.
Okay.
Is it as magic now at 58 as it was when I was 8? And the answer to the question is, I was waiting for you, Steve. I was waiting for you to go.
Okay.
And
and is it? Give us the headline.
I think it's great.
Time to go for a break. It's good. Yeah. Fantastic! I'm looking forward to getting stuck in.
Bobbie, we're meant to build up to that. Your opinion is the bit that it's the nugget at the centre of all this.
It's going to come towards the end.
Gradual reveal.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, it's new. Sorry. Go on.
3-step process, Steve.
Okay, so if you haven't listened to this before,
bloody work experience.
No. I'll tell you what. Bobbie is essentially a first-time listener as well. So, Bob, the author is the first stage of our 3-step process. We discuss the author. This is where your opinions are going to come in really handy, by the way. The text of the book is the second stage, and then, of course, because we are Audiobook Club, what did you think? What do we think, and what do our listeners think of the audiobook production and performance? Does it bring anything extra to the party over the printed version? That's our 3-step process, and that's what we're clinging on to dear life for. So Enid Blyton and your opinions.
Let's do the cold, scientific, objective bit first, which we always do, which is where I copy and paste off Wikipedia who this person is. Enid Mary Blyton, born 11th of August 1897, passed away on the 28th of November 1968, was an English children's writer. She is one of the best-selling and most prolific writers of all time, particularly in the realm of children's literature. Blyton's books have been worldwide bestsellers since the 1930s. Selling more than 600 million copies, and have been translated into 90 languages. Blyton is the 4th most translated author in the world ever. Team, any guesses as to the top 3?
Agatha Christie. Does it say Agatha Christie?
Agatha Christie is the world's most translated author with over 7,200 translations.
Oh, well done, Steve.
What, the Dickens? Oh, the Dickens?
So you were close. Well, I say close.
Okay.
Right language, wrong century.
Oh, okay. Most translated. J.K. Rowling, is she one of them?
Anthony
Dan
Trollope.
Brown.
Jules Verne and William Shakespeare.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, him.
I was just about to say Roger Hargreaves.
Can I just say, Audiobook Club, reassuringly middle brow, as always. I like it.
Aspiring for middle brow, I think you mean. Yeah.
She is best remembered for the noddy Famous Five, Secret Seven, and Mallory Towers books, although she also wrote many others, including St. Clair's, The Naughtiest Girl, and the Faraway Tree series. For me personally, I started reading The Secret Seven when I was 5, and I started reading The Famous Five when I was 7. I always thought the name across the top of the book, because they always put her signature on the top of the books. I thought her name was Enid Blyton for quite a long time. Because
Grid.
and of course, basically, we all think of lashings and ginger beer. What's the first thing you think of, Steve? And then we'll go on to the gold of this episode, which is Bobbie's research. Bobbie's
probably the most unexpected thing you probably think I'm going to say here. My earliest experience of and my only experience of Enid Blyton is 5 Go Mad in Dorset, which is the comic strip parody of Enid Blyton, and with Ada Edmondson and Peter Richardson and all the rest. And so
Dawn French.
That's literally my own experience.
Yeah.
And Dawn French, Jennifer Saunders was in there as well, I think. But that was amazing. And the one they did right at the other end, where they did a reunion where they're all really old. It was brilliant. So yes, I'm taking us off on a tangent there, but if anyone listening has not searched out the comic strip yet, please do. It's fantastic, especially the GLC episode. So yeah, that's my only experience of Enid Blyton. So I come to it really, really completely, wet behind the ears.
Okay.
Bobbie, tell us about Enid Blyton, the woman.
I think about the woman, I knew very little about the woman until...
The person, sorry.
Well, the author herself, I'm going to say I knew nothing till very, very recently. And that's the really difficult thing, because, of course, I expected, like her, the book she's written, I expected her to be this magic, wonderful, warm creature that loved children, that had a fabulous family around her. But again, why should she? That's an assumption, because she writes so well about the world that children would want to inhabit. So I was quite shocked when, first of all, there was a documentary made, but then there was a drama doc. Helen Bonham Carter played Enid Blyton, and I think my mouth was open for the whole time, because she is not what I imagined at all. I was really quite shocked. I mean, I'm aware there's so much about her writing that's out of date. I know she's criticised for her themes, obviously not PC, but if you think about the time she was writing in, right or wrong, she was writing about her time. So I could kind of always put that on the side and go, well, she's a woman of her time. That doesn't make it right. It just makes it of her time. That's the context of her experience. But I think from a personal level, I was shocked, because I think it's quite clear that empathy is not her greatest attribute. I think if you're a child of Enid Blyton, this is really difficult. You had a very difficult time. If you're married to Enid Blyton, you may have had a very, very difficult time. But I'm also going to say this, because when I watched the documentary about how she treated other people, I say no empathy because we might have just said she was very selfish and self-centered. I think we understand that a little bit better now, today's world. But she wasn't very kind. She really wasn't kind to people. But I'm going to say this. If she was a man of that time, we wouldn't question half of this. But she didn't look after her children. She'd see them at the end of the day for an hour. But they were very much an inconvenience. Not a pleasure to her, it seems, it appears. It's really difficult because she's not really speaking herself. This is from her diaries, which she burnt a lot of her diaries, which is a shame. So they've only got snippets, and also what her children said about her and people around her. So I think overall, I was just mouth wide open. Who is this woman that I thought was writing brilliant stories for children that must have surely adored children? And that is not the case. So yeah, I was quite shocked. So I was dumbfounded, to be honest.
I have said in it, so obviously one of the things you think about is, and you have this sort of vague cultural memory. And Steve's right, there's almost a bit where the parody we've seen more recently than we've read the books. But there is this whole thing where we just, it's all lashings of ginger beer. I mean, I'm thinking, funnily enough, of the character George in The Famous Five.
Yeah.
Who was a tomboy, which has vaguely, what it's called has gone out of fashion, but what that is in terms of representation within the book. We've all got this vague idea in the back of our heads that Enid Blyton was a bit racist, and that was the way in which she was a person of her age. But I think there's also little bits where I think she kind of taught me stuff about tolerance and how people are different. Is that fair?
It's funny you mentioned about George, because there's a contradiction about George. She actually says herself that George was a character that was actually a character created from a girl that she met. George wasn't her name, but she also had a dog. She had short hair. She was very, sturdy, forthright, outgoing, felt she had an equal place in the world.
Tomboy is the word that Blyton uses, isn't it?
It is, but also she later says that she wrote George as a way of incorporating how she was. That's her. George is her. And she did grow up with a dog and was very close. So you wonder when you think about, think about her failures as a maternal representation of what motherhood should be, then if she sees herself as George, then of course that's going to fail. The other thing I've got to say now in today's world is, for all she's criticised for, and her children's criticise her, there's an expectation that motherhood means you're maternal. And we know that's not true. Not in all cases, not in lots of cases. So she got pregnant. After some trouble, she gave birth to 2 little girls, and she had some miscarriages as well. And she struggled with the role of, I suppose, parenthood in that traditional sense. What she wanted to do, she was an artist. She wanted to write. She wanted to create. So she got someone else in to do the laundry, the gardening, and look after the children. And she saw the children at the end of the day. So what she does, of course, is breaks that idea that if you're a mother, you should give up all of yourself to parent your children. And that's now different to what it is now, because now we ask those questions of both parents and go, okay, who's going to do the job, or are you going to share it between you? But back then, of course, it was a terrible thing not to look after your children. What
was her relationship with her husband like? What impression have you got of him from dramas and docudramas and diaries and stuff like that? What feelings do you get about their relationship and what he was like?
Well, she had 2 husbands. The first one she met at the publishers who published her. So I would also say of her experience, she came from her upbringing. She was very close to her dad. Doesn't seem she had a very good relationship with her mum. Whose fault that was, I don't know. And 2 younger brothers. She did a lot of caring for her younger brothers. Her dad left when she was 13 and went off and had a family with someone else. This obviously had a huge impression on her. What's interesting, she didn't tell any of her friends that her dad had left and this was going on. She pretended at her boarding school where she was. When you think of the stories of The Naughtiest Girl and Mallory Towers, she spent her early life in a boarding school. Her dad wanted her to be a musician. He was very encouraging of her, and then he left. So this bit, the story of her personal story, just got left behind. And then she wanted to be a teacher, and she did leave to be a teacher. But that relationship with her mother and her brothers completely wiped out. In fact, it was many, many years later that one of her brothers came and knocked on the door to tell her mother was ill. She hadn't seen any of them. So that complete, cut off of her early relationships into a new life when she met her husband, who was the author. And also he came from the First World War. So you've got a man that they think might have had PTSD. They thought, sorry, you'll cut that out, won't you? They thought he had PTSD. And she didn't.
She's new. She doesn't know. We like the mistakes. We like the rough edges, Bobbie.
She didn't cope very well with that. So what I'm saying is, as a young woman who was an artist, there's no education for knowing what your husband needs for that, as in most of the population of the time. My overall feeling is she wasn't very nice to him. She earned a lot of the money.
They didn't have Marie Claire magazine then, did they, really, Bobbie?
No, but I said
there weren't references.
No, you see, you can look at that drama and you do sit back and go, wow, I didn't realise she wasn't very nice. But then also, with today's eyes, it's because what we expect her to be. And she didn't get, I don't think, the chance as an artist to be as ruthlessly admired as a man might have been. You know, if it was a man author writing 700 books, he wouldn't have been criticised for not looking after his children, would he? He wouldn't have been criticising for only being seen for an hour at the end of the day. That wouldn't be happening, but we are looking through that lens. So there you go.
It's interesting. For me, going back to this, it brought back some of the safety and security of childhood in many ways. It was like, and again, it is that Victorian attitude to outdoor children, isn't it? If you put them in the garden, seen and not heard, end of the day, I don't know. I'm slightly sentimental about these. I'd never had the childhood where I get to wander off to the woods. Now, Bobbie, the best part of this show, I've always maintained, and the only people and the reason people tune in is because of the amazing silver larynx Steve Phillips, masterful cold read without any rehearsal of the blurb off the back of the audiobook. It's quite a wonderful experience. Are you braced and ready?
Braced. Maybe never ready.
Never ready. Steve, take it away, maestro.
I'm ever ready. Discover the magic of the Faraway tree this Easter. Now a major movie. The second book in the enchanting Magic Faraway Tree series by Enid Blyton, the world's best-loved storyteller, read by Kate Winslet. Jo, Beth, Franny's cousin Rick comes to stay, reluctant at first to share in their adventures at the top of the Faraway Tree. Join them and their friends, Moonface, Saucepan Man, and Silky the... They're ridiculous character names. I'm sorry, I've not read the book. Saucepan Man.
You know, and this is what I was saying, Bobbie. So basically, you've put in loads of work, loads of effort, worried about what you're going to say.
Thanks.
He hasn't only not read, he doesn't even read the back of the book before he turns up. This is why we are replacing him with you. Carry on,
okay.
Steve.
Blown up the magic there. I'll do that bit again, but also it'll stay in the take because it always does, Bobbie.
Always
my
does.
dignity is left firmly at the door. Join them and their friends, Moonface, Saucepan Man, and Silky the Fairy, as they discover which new land is at the top of the Faraway Tree. Will it be the land of dreams or the land of topsy-turvy? Discover the magic. This recording follows the original text, first published in 1943, and is abridged in the following ways. Chapters 20 to 21 are merged. Is this still part of the blurb, by
It's
the way?
genuinely part. If you look at the usual description that we look at on Audible or Amazon websites, this is included. And I think that, you know, we've alluded to this already, haven't we? It's like, yeah, you bet chapters 20. I wonder what chapters 23 and 26 to 26, which have been omitted.
They've been redacted, haven't they? There's a lot of redaction going on in 2026.
They were probably going to Judenland.
Yes. Controversial land, I suspect. Yes, they're going to cancel land. The Enchanted Wood, 1939, Magic Faraway Tree, 1943, and The Folk of the Faraway Tree, 1946. Up the Faraway Tree, that's not a carry-on film. It's a comic strip story from 1951. There you go. That's your blurb. There you go. I'm never warrant any introduction from you again, Matt, after blowing that one up. There we go.
Bobbie, what was your
You have just ruined my childhood story.
How often has that been said this century?
Bobbie, what was your experience reading the book 50 years after the first time you'd read it? What was it like?
So I'm going to say this. When I bought those books, the Enid Blyton books, they were usually from a jumble sale for 5p, and I had stacks of them. They were always my go-to. I'd read the stories and I'd save them because in times of trouble, an Enid Blyton book is really good, especially if you see a horror film as a 25-year-old. Now,
I'm getting the smell of Browning paperback here.
And
my ones were the choose your own adventure ones that were always.
Yes, Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone.
Listen, we're talking Enid Blyton here.
Sorry, focus.
Yes,
sorry. Let Bobbie talk.
Choose your own Enid Blyton.
So all the books I had had no colourful jackets because they were missing. They had the original drawings. And the thing about the Faraway Tree, reading the book again, is I had the ones with the illustrations in. So the interesting thing about that is when you get onto the tree with all the magical people that they meet, Moonface, Silky the fairy you were talking about, we already had a 2D image of what those people look like. So what we didn't have is the imagination of what they sounded like. I was going to say about the Faraway Tree is from a parenting point of view. Yeah, if you stand back from it, they're going into the woods. They're meeting very strange people. And some of them are quite scary. And they have a kind of, what's the word? It's kind of potential jeopardy all the way to get into the tree in the first place, to get to the other lands at the top of the tree. And the most scary thing was, and I was terrified as a kid, and when I read it again, I just thought, hang on a second, you've got to go up the ladder to these other lands and you've got to get back down before it moves on. Otherwise you get stuck up there. I always remember as a kid being absolutely terrified that if I was up there, I would get stuck. So I don't know whether I would go up through the clouds and go onto the land in the first place because it starts to spin and you've got to know when to get down. So that I always thought was quite scary. They're not just, what's the word? Nice, gentle stories. And there's always interesting people in them.
It's the Roald Dahl school of frightening the bejesus out of your children, isn't it? It's the idea that children like horrible things. Children like things darker than you think they do.
Yeah,
go on.
No, all I was going to say was it's the same with children's TV these days. And you watch the children's TV that we kind of grew up with, and it was pretty hardcore, actually, children's TV back then. You had Zamo in Grange Hill with the whole heroin overdose. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a slightly different age bracket.
Slightly different age bracket. I mean, Blyton did not... Can I just say this? For anyone who's not read Enid Blyton, you can give it a tick because there's none of them get addicted to heroin in any of the stories, but certainly it was, yeah.
But they do get addicted to.
Oh,
no. But one of the things, you talk about lashings of ginger beer from the famous Five and all that descriptions about food, which as a kid and actually as an adult, I love. So you're just thinking, okay, what are they eating? What are they having? The greatest thing about the Faraway Tree is not just the worlds up where they go up into the top of the tree. The people they meet all have amazing cakes. Now, I always remember hot and cold cakes. And I was thinking, whereabouts in the book are the hot and cold cakes? I found the bit where Moonface makes hot cakes. But also, I think it's Silky that brings up the Google cakes. Now, I have only ever heard Google buns. I've only ever heard the word Google from the internet, when the internet set up. So I was thinking, hang on a second, where did Enid Blyton get the word Google for Google buns from? And there's something in the middle. And when you bite into the middle, it's just absolutely amazing. And the thing is, when you read this book, you're sitting there going, now I'm starving and I'll never find the food that they're eating. And it's just absolutely magical.
There's a lovely bit about in the opening chapter. Before they go off to the woods, they, as you say, they did their chores. And again, let's remember, and I looked at this, and it was written in 1943. So, of course, Rick's come to visit. Rick's an evacuee, and it's clearly training them to how to be and receive evacuees as well. So I thought that was, as you say, when it's Enid Blyton's manual how to be a child, it was interesting that was in there as well. But there's chapter 1, as I say, they're looking forward to jacket potatoes with butter and cheese. We're going to be having jacket potatoes and we're going to put butter and cheese on them. But there's also a horrible food bit in here, and I'm going to use this. Here's a slightly extended clip, so that, because I know, Bobbie, you're aching to tell us what you thought of the performance of the book. So let's have a little extended clip.
Well, allow me to hand round some chocolate to you all in return for such a nice present, said Mr. Changeabout. And he fetched an enormous box of chocolates from a cupboard. Everybody was pleased. Rick looked carefully into the box when his turn came. His hand stretched out for the very biggest chocolate of all. Mr. Changeabout at once changed again and flew into a rage. He became thin and mean-looking. His nose shot out long and his eyes grew small. "Bad boy! Greedy boy!" he shouted. "You shan't have any of my chocolates now! Horrible, greedy children!" And all at once, the chocolates changed into hard little stones. Beth had hers in her mouth, and she spat it out at once. The others looked disgusted. The old saucepan man gave a yell. "I've swallowed mine, and now I suppose I've got a stone inside me."
I remember how much, there you go, combining food and horror there for you, Bobbie. I remember how much that affected me when I was a kid. That gave me the heebie-jeebies when I heard that as a kid. It really doesn't hold back, does it? I was worried that I'd have a stone in my stomach.
Also, isn't it interesting when she paints all these characters, kind of listening to it again? I remember thinking, hold on a second, all these weird characters with their personalities that the children need to negotiate. Mr. Changeabout, I mean, as I said, I'm not a psychologist, but he has real problems that they need to be wary of. So also, the book also teaches the kids, I think, human beings, especially adult human beings, are full of dangerous potential.
Are you calling him bipolar?
Well, I'm not a psychologist, so I wouldn't. Yeah, but you know what indeed. I mean? Is the Mr. Changeabout? So what was she talking about? But it does teach children to go, hold on a second, you need to be wary. Also, they're unpredictable and they are not all the same.
From what you were saying also, it sounds like that might be Enid Blyton admitting what she's like a bit and writing herself into the book again.
Well, yeah, maybe. What I'm saying is, it's still, reading it again, it's still magical. I still see all that in it. And I still see all the escapism. And the other thing I wanted to tell you, I know you want to talk about the audiobook, so is this the right time to do this?
No, you go, Bobbie, yes, this is your show now.
So the listening to it again is, I picked a time to listen. I do so many car journeys, and so I thought, this is great. I've got to go to Birmingham. I've got to do a long journey. No doubt there's going to be it's 2.5 hours, but add an hour of traffic on that, and you're going to need a good story to get you through it. I thought, I can't think of anything better. I can escape to the land of the Faraway tree and all its lands above the tree while I'm driving through Birmingham. And it'll be fantastic. And I put it on and I started listening. And I thought, if I was listening with kids, would I still be entertained as an adult? Or are there layers for the kids and there's layers for adults now? And it did exactly what it did to me when I was 8, is because I was on my way to a funeral. So I was on my way to a really sad time, and I decided to play the Faraway Tree as to kind of combat what was, to kind of dissipate some of the stress that you're facing. It was a really big funeral I was going to go to. And it did what it did to me, is the fact it gave me escapism all the way up and gave me something magical to kind of hide in, because there were no avoiding what was coming. But for the trip up, I was immersed in this lovely world and kind of listening back to all the kind of, say, potential harm and jeopardy that these kids could get into. But also it was fabulous escapism. And that's what it is, escapism. It was always escapism. And that's what she writes. She writes really good adventure stories for kids to escape in and to learn how to be brave. Also to learn how to be safe, because all those kids do brave big things, but they do it in a very safe, responsible way.
And that's the thing about audiobooks, isn't it? If you get a really, really good audiobook, it's pure escapism. It just takes you into a completely other world, doesn't it? And did you get that as a sense from Kate Winslet's performance of the book?
Well, the thing is about the Faraway Tree, it's full of so many voices that if you're reading it to kids, and I gave my book to my cousins next door, my cousins twice removed, when she arrived next door and she was about 8. And I said, you need to read this Faraway Tree and you will love it. And she said, will you read a bit to me? And you have to do some of the voices. And there are so many voices to do. What I think Kate Winslet lends to it, her voice lends to Enid Blyton's writing. It suits the time, because Enid Blyton's writing, they've changed a few things, like they've changed the names a little bit, they've altered those. But not that not that it loses anything. They've just brought those a little bit up
and
to
deleted
date.
and deleted 23 to 26 as well. So yeah, there are clearly some things.
Okay.
Because I didn't notice the names being changed, but
okay. So they've deleted
clearly
that.
Editorial decisions have been made, haven't they?
Yes, but I don't think to the detriment of the book. That doesn't at all. But having Kate read the book, it suits Enid's writing. What's really, really tricky is to do all those voices. You've got the voice of Moonface, you've got the voice of Silky, you've got the voice of the children, you've got the voice of Mum and Dad, you've got all the characters in the world. It's a really tricky narration. So when she took that on, it might have sounded, oh, brilliant, I got the Faraway tree. As an actor, it's a real challenge. It's not an easy one because there's so many people to play.
Slight disagreement. And again, maybe it's the time. But I always tried to talk across to my children rather than down to them. And maybe this is Kate Winslet doing a fantastic job of embodying the parenting of a different age. But I for once did not make it to the end of the book because she was just winding me up. And partly because it was a little bit hammy, and partly because I felt it was my children are very much, they've been, as Steve will tell you, they've been weaned on Stephen Fry, who I think you start off with Pocket, you then move to Paddington, they then move to Harry Potter, they then move to Sherlock Holmes. All of them are read by Stephen Fry. And he's slightly less an adult talking down to people, to the kids. But maybe this is a slightly younger audience. I think definitely that our threshold here, Bobbie, on Audiobook Club is always, was it a narration or was it good enough to be qualified as a performance? So where are you on? You're on Winslet. You're performed, not narrated.
I would say, that's a really tricky one. I didn't love all the performances, but I think she gave it a pretty good go. See, the other thing is you're talking about the voices. It also depends on the writing. And that's what I think is the writing. It's really tricky to deal with Enid's writing and make it into anything else, because otherwise it would sound like you were not serious about the writing in itself. And I think she reads it just as it's written. Whether it's written right is a different thing. I disagree with you there. I don't think she has a choice to do it any different way. I didn't feel talked down to. You could read the book yourself and you could feel that, because the book when it was written doesn't fit the time. Does that make sense? I don't think it's her fault.
Yeah, and again, maybe that's deliberately what they decided to do, which is sort of a slightly talk downy, shouty, 1940s parent kind of performance, which it was a little bit like this, I found. But
that fits. I think that fits in. So, in my experience of Enid Blyton, like I said, was Fire Go Mad in Dorset. That was a comic strip, and that's precisely the way they put across that narration in that
that's
show.
The way it's written,
so it feels like, exactly.
Yeah,
so it needs that. Yeah,
I think we're done, Steve.
Well, we're done.
So I can say the 58-year-old Bobbie Pryor enjoyed the Faraway tree as much as the 8-year-old Bobbie Pryor. And I was very grateful.
Look at that.
There you go.
That's what I say is because this is it. It's difficult times. I was on the way to a funeral, and it got me back from the funeral. I was very grateful to be able to dive into that.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great book to do it with.
Careful climbing trees, by the way, and be careful of speaking to people that are very, very strange.
Yeah, health and safety.
I do want a Google bun though, so if you could make me some, that'd be great.
Well, we'll look up the recipe for it. And I think, Matt, the first time we've had things tied up in a nice little bow there, we should take a learning from that one, eh?
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to get my hat. I think it's hanging next to yours, and I shall whistle on my way out with you, Steve. I'll take it. Oh, well.
It's Audiobook Club with just Bobbie Pryor next week.
Well done, Bobbie Pryor's Audiobook Club.
There we go. Yeah. Well,
cheers, guys. Are we telling people? Are we actually telling people that how long we've known each other? Is that going out in the edit that we actually have known each other for a very long time, and this is me reconnecting with the two of you?
Yeah, I think we should say it. Right? I think
Broadcasting titan Bobbie Pryor, such an honour for us to have you on here, and such a lovely thing to be able to. I'd forgotten that you and I back in 2001, 2002 used to work afternoon shifts in different buildings, and we communicated for hours over the phone, both working and playing, and we did some quite complicated work, but we managed to keep our sense of humour. And it's amazing when we got back into this, and there have been technical problems with this episode. It's like, I'm problem solving with Bobbie again. It's blooming brilliant.
It's the same. And also, I've got to say, Steve, we did a show together 100 years ago.
We did.
Did you?
Bobbie and I used to work at the Channel Tunnel, and Bobbie, the first thing she said to me, took me under her wing and said, "Don't do boring." It was when they were building it.
Did I say that? I wasn't going to mention that job. I was going to mention the other job that we had.
I'll tell you some other things that Bobbie said to me if you want.
We met in a warehouse in Chelmsford, like many of the great friendships start off with.
Steve!
1996.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
Well, okay. I think to be honest, we can't. I'm afraid, Bobbie, we've actually locked the doors. We can't let you go. Do you want to hang around for next week and like future weeks?
Hold on. What's next week's book, Steve? What's next week's book?
Go on.
Well, next week's book is. It's not listed here.
I haven't told you because I've been looking forward to this bit. Here we go.
Okay.
I've got some bad news for you, Steve, and I've got some good news.
Is it next week Destination Earth thing you want me to read?
No. Well, let's start off by going. Next week's book is a John Buchan reboot. John Buchan, you may know, was one of Ian Fleming's, one of the influences on Ian Fleming. His Richard Hannay series of books was part of the inspiration for James Bond. How are you buying it so far?
Well, the very first bookshop I went into was called Hannay's.
Oh, was it? Okay, so that wasn't going as badly as I thought.
No.
But I should imagine, because, Bobbie, you're non-fiction, aren't you? You and Steve mainly prefer non-fiction books.
Steve and I both said one of the things that joins us together is, sorry, we don't do non-fiction. But
you only do non-fiction, yeah.
Yeah, we don't. Sorry, yes, no, we only do non-fiction. Sorry,
that's it.
Don't read
okay.
fiction.
So this one is set in 1912, and it's a rip-roaring adventure of a kind of a proto James Bond figure going across Europe. It's not James Bond; it's the one who came before James Bond. What do you think of that, Steve? Does that sound fun?
That sounds like I can't tell you how great that sounds.
And then this is the bit I've been looking forward to. It's written and narrated by Ben Miller.
Oh.
No, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there is Daring Do. We go to Turkey. We go to Paris. There are certainly a number of gentlemen in fezzes. There's a lot of pipe smoking. And this thing has been made with love. And I'd like to play you a clip, please.
Go on, then. Oh, is this a French
Good
one?
afternoon, sir. Gold, silver, or bronze? He asked brightly. For a moment, I blinked at him, imagining Olympic placements or cufflinks. Then he gestured to a polished tray at his side, where tins and brushes were arranged with military precision. Bronze is basic polish, he added helpfully. Silver include the buff and edgework. Gold, he grinned, holding up a fine bristled brush with a flourish. Gold is everything. As a soldier, the tending of one's boots is not a trifling detail, but a private ritual, bound up in discipline and self-respect. Not since my days at school had another man stooped to do it for me. Every fibre of my being balked at the notion. But even as he awaited my verdict, I saw what was needed.
Steve's turned the lights off at that.
I know we do have to stop the recording fairly soon because I'm actually severely losing the light now. But
this has taken longer than expected. The sun has died in the making. But that sounds like. Can I tell you how much fun I had listening to that book as someone who's done all of the Richard Hannay books and felt there weren't enough of them. This thing is made with such love, and he travels on the Orient Express, and he has a brief encounter with the Titanic. And there's one bit he's so totally immersed in it. Is Ben Miller that I was just enjoying the book, and he mentions that they go into the metro in Paris. And of course, it's 1912. So he talks about the steam coming out the bottom of the trains. And I'm going, how did you remember to do that? And yeah, if you two are up for it, and Bobbie, particularly you, do you fancy it? Do you want to come back?
Yeah, if you'd have me, I'd do my best.
Hey!
We've fooled her. Excellent.
We've got her.
Okay, then we are now up to a 3. Fantastic news. So we're doing John Buchan next week, narrated by Ben Miller.
Steve, hold on. Let me do this. I've got. hold on, I can do this for you. Control and A, Control and C.
Start writing
if I go into the script and go down the bottom, I can put
I started writing
that in there. There you go.
So next week, dear listener, thank you for copying and pasting. A Very Dangerous Pursuit, written by John Buchan. Oh, written by Ben Miller.
Yeah.
Oh, it's written by Ben Miller. Okay.
Yeah. That accent was written in 2026.
Oh man! So I've just been looking up Ben Miller on here. Yeah, there we are. A Very Dangerous Pursuit. I have it up here on my massive screen here. A Very Dangerous Pursuit. It's a Richard Hannay adventure. Now, is this Ben Miller writing as John Buchan? Is it like they do with Hitchhikers and Douglas Adams and so on with Owen Colfer and not having other people?
This is as well as being a rip roaring John Buchan, who of course 39 Steps is the most famous film, book, musical that came out of this series, and actually it's the best one. I'd say this one's better. I'd just say Ben Miller basically he writes Buchan better than Buchan does. It's great.
Can I just ask a question? Just ask a question, boys. Is this a grown man being exceptionally heroic and talented and a spy in a foreign country?
Rather.
Okay.
That's exactly what we need. This is why you're here next week.
This is exactly the kind of scorn I want poured on my audiobook cornflakes. Thank you very much, Bobbie Pryor. You're hired.
See you next week. Wish me luck.
Right then. That is A Very Dangerous Pursuit, written and read by Ben Miller. Came out May. Well, actually, 21st of May, 2026. Brand new book, writing as John Buchan, basically Richard Hannay adventure. 9 hours 30 minutes from HarperCollins. Download. Let us know what you thought about it. We will tell you what we thought about it with a very diverse range of opinions we have now.
Hey,
from Bobbie Pryor, Matt Layton, and me, Steve Phillips. Don't forget, you can get us wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Facebook, Audiobook Show on Instagram and Blue Sky. Our YouTube channel is inexplicably still Audiobook Club 1540. Don't ask why. And if you missed any of our episodes previously, before Bobbie, BP, audiobookclub.net, our website. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you there. But let us know what you think of Ben Miller's new book. It came out in May. It's hot off the press or the audio press, A Very Dangerous Pursuit. And we shall see you next week.
Can I just hold on before we go? Bobbie, what are your handles on Twitter and Instagram?
Oh, Instagram only, Real Bobbie Pryor. Real REAL. Because the other Bobbie Pryor was already there before me.
Can I just say, I think this week is the first time that you've heard the Real Bobbie Pryor. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, thank you.
Nice touch. Yeah. Seconded.
Steve, we need to get you a light.
Yeah. I need it. Yeah, if we can see the budget clear. Yes. Well, more ads, please. More ads, and we can get a light. I might have a candle like in the olden days, and I'll preset fire or something. I've already had a melted monitor, so I can't. Yeah, I'm trusted with naked flames. Anyway, that said, let's go and do Rip Roaring Adventure next week. We'll see you then.
Cheers.